What's your secret that you won't tell anyone outside Reddit? I'm jealous of the friendships my friends have with each other. I've never felt as close to them as they do with each other. And as a 40-year-old man, I would feel childish admitting this. I just feel like an outsider sometimes, and just wish I had the same kind of bond they do. I ran in a high school track meet once using a tampon. The entire tampon. Plastic tube and all. I was so confused on how these were in popular use because wow, what a pain in the ass it was trying to keep that little extendable plastic stick from falling out. Why did people like using these things? Edit. I have deep regret about the word choice of pain in the ass in this post, smiley face. My life expectancy is less than a year. My friends and family think I'm antisocial, but actually I spend most of my time in bed. I don't want to tell anyone and I don't know why. Just about every day, when I am in the car headed to work, I genuinely contemplate just driving off and leaving everything behind. My fantasy is heading all the way to Alaska, living in a motel room, and washing dishes for work. I can't go through with it because I have people counting on me. Yes, I am in therapy. Edit. I got a message from a bot that a concerned Redditor was reaching out. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you. I can assure you that I do not wish to harm myself. Just experiencing the call of the void. Thank you, though. You are a good person. A few years ago my dad's truck was broken into and he lost all of his rings. He had several silver rings, would take them off to drive BC. The wheel rubbing on the rings was irritating. Forgot them in the truck one day and they were all stolen. My dad is not the type to accept gifts, especially if it's a replacement for something that was lost due to his own error. Over the years, I've been slowly replacing them. I'll save up, buy a ring that looks similar to one of the old ones, and then I'll either claim I found it somewhere or leave it for him to find. I replaced two by pretending I found them in the snow while out shoveling. Months later I left one outside our front door for him to find. It makes him so happy every time one is found. I hope he never finds out I am the one leaving them, lol. The contrast of these responses, it'll go from the most traumatic thing I've ever heard of to the comment underneath saying they shot themselves once 27 years ago. I think about suicide a lot. I don't have any desire to do it these days, but it's constantly in the back of my mind. I wouldn't ever admit to it offline anymore, since people have tried to get me $5,150 for it, even though I've stated that I'm not actively suicidal. I read a lot. I wake up as early as 4:30 a.m. so I can read, or even stay up super late. Not just because I like it a lot, but because it keeps me from thinking intrusive thoughts. Ever since my mother died 5 years ago from cancer, the feeling of going into another world, if only for a moment, makes me feel secure. Not sure if that's healthy, but it's better than any antidepressant I was given that made me feel like a different person. I once sat in a sauna at the gym contemplating what to do in life. Just in one of those moments in life where the road ahead was unclear. A man walked in who was 30 years older than me and sat down. Just the two of us were there. I felt this strong urge to ask him his advice, what his regrets in life were, if he were in his 20s again, what would he do differently, etc. But my social anxiety and general fear of men kept me quiet. I've always regretted it. I think sometimes life puts opportunities in our path to learn and grow, and missing any of them due to something like social anxiety is such a waste. I work in a front-facing role where I interact with customers, subcontractors and clients for 12 hours a day. I'm chatty, full of energy, and I get on with everyone. But outside of work, I have no friends. The one friend I had has moved away and we speak very rarely anymore. Back when we were dating, my wife found out I'd never had a surprise birthday party before. She really wanted to throw one for me, which I was okay with. Only one problem: it never worked. She'd try almost every year, try throwing surprise parties for other occasions. Each time, as she was planning stuff, I'd pick up on some discrepancy in her cover story, or pick up on something that a friend said, ask about it, and she'd be unable to cover it. Then finally, after years and years of this, she pulled it off. She was delighted and so proud that she at last managed to surprise me. She's talked about it for years, about how close I came to uncovering it. It made her so happy, and it was a lot of fun. Except what actually happened is I finally managed to be quick enough putting the pieces together to stop myself before I asked about the discrepancy in her cover story. Played dumb, pretended I had no idea. Acted surprised when the day came. She will never know. The last time I shot myself I was 14 and walking home from the bus. I didn't even feel it coming. It was just explosive diarrhea. To make it worse, both my parents got home early and my dad's boss was over for a visit. Nobody outside of the four of us knows. Edit. Kinda funny that my comment is about the phantom explosive diarrhea is my top comment ever. Sometimes I get up in the morning, shower, get ready, and then get back into bed and pretend to be sleeping just so my daughter can run into our room and wake me up. She's 7, and still loves waking me up in the morning to get my day started by seeing her face first. I pray that I will never know a day that doesn't start like this. A friend has a huge, very visible tattoo in her forearm, almost wrist to elbow that she designed and is proud of. It's misspelled. I pointed a gun at my stepmom's abusive boyfriend when he was sleeping and couldn't pull the trigger. I have the desire to just pack my bags and leave. Start over somewhere where nobody knows me and expects something from me, and creating a life for myself. I feel guilty, though, because I feel like I won't miss my family or my friends. That's a secret eating me up. Edit. I'm 18 and nothing is holding me back from doing so, just the fear. Just so you guys know, it's not like I'm leaving my kids and husband behind etc. It's just the fear of the unknown and knowing that if I do this my parents will not expect anything of me anymore, and I'm afraid of that. I've been secretly trying to make my daughter's first word mama because I know it will make my wife unimaginably happy. She's doing well with the coaching, so I think I've got a shot. My mother died in childbirth. I was the child. There was a photo my dad kept on the mantle. He's got my sister hoisted up on his shoulders, he's looking out of breath and nervous. He set the timer on the camera and wasn't sure of the settings. My mother stood next to him. His arm around her and she's looking up at them and laughing. She looks young, happy, and very pregnant. When I was about 7 I destroyed it. He turned the house upside down looking for it. Eventually he thought it stolen for the silver frame, toured the pawn shops and banned me and my sister from having visitors.